A little bit of background on myself and our very deep into the space. A lot of people know us, and we kind of go by on not just results, but our likability and consistency, and not just the people we get in the door, but the consultation we're able to provide people when it comes to things such as follow up, getting people in the door, making sure they show up, closing them, dealing with objections. And most importantly, one of my favorite things is the pricing, packaging, and structuring of these services. So it's properly represented and to the patients you're trying to sell, essentially maximizing profits. So that's kind of our big focus, is because with us long ago, the concern wasn't really, are we going to get leads? Because we know how to do that very well. So we take a lot of time with our clients to focus on basically the consulting side of it, to assure that we're getting them in the door, to assure that we're closing, to assure that that's happening. And we've seen everything that's happened in this industry or could happen 10 times over in every variety possible. So it's been a long time since we've been stumped when it comes to answering an objection or dealing with a certain scenario, which is really, really cool to be able to say. So probably what you're most interested in is how things like the body contouring advertisements work. Is that right?
I would resort to Dr. Lucky for all the specifics that he wants.
Oh, sure thing. I see he's muted right there. I'm not sure if he can hear us or not, but
I'm sure he's listening.
Oh, that's all right. So an easy way to
Lucky,
put it.
If you could please unmute yourself.
He's probably talking to somebody.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
There you go.
Yeah, I've heard everything up to so far, and yes, we just got the bio body sculpting machine from Mike Renzulli. Mike, did you get my videos today?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. And then, so we just got it. We're excited to get it out into the community, the information, and bring some patients in. I know you work with a really good friend of mine, Brandon Addison, as well.
So, by the way, I was referred to him by Dr. Lucky here. So we're like in a small circle here.
That's funny. Hey, the circle of money will continue to expand. God knows
That's
that.
right. It's a win-win-win. We're with great people here.
Absolutely. I mean, I just love the energy on the call so far. All smiles and very pragmatic. It's cool. So, Dr. Lucky, I'd assume probably one of your biggest concerns is just kind of how the marketing operates, maybe in comparison to things you've tried in the past. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm a medical clinic, so I use OpGenetics for my testosterone marketing, my ED marketing. I need female hormones. If you've got somebody who can do that, or if y'all do that, I'd love to talk about that. But right now, I'm really focused on the bio body sculpting.
Absolutely. So I'll put it to you this way: when it comes to exploring other avenues, we're big believers in that a jack of all trades is a master of none, essentially. So when it comes to exploring other avenues, I'd love to impress you with what we can guarantee, almost perfect success at. And then when it comes to other services and stuff like that, if you feel like exploring it once we've impressed you, maybe we'll have that conversation later if that sounds good.
Sure, of course. Yeah. Hold on one second for me, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Go ahead, guys. Sorry about that.
Oh, no sweat. So just to kind of jump right into it for like what we do and how we operate, it's really, really straightforward, super, super simple. Everything we do is through Facebook, essentially. Sometimes Instagram, because it's Meta. Meta owns Facebook and Instagram. It's literally just a press of a button to get people in the door. Or I mean to.
Okay, so let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. Facebook is not allowing me to advertise because somebody a year ago put some sort of weight loss ad out on my thing, and they won't even tell me why they won't let me Facebook ad. They won't tell me. They just said you're never going to do any kind of advertising on Facebook again.
You know what WTF stands for? It stands for Welcome to Facebook, and you've experienced it. So how
I can't even get any information from them, and then so we were trying to do some, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but we were trying to do some. This is how deep they go with me. So my other friend has a neuropathy, so we're doing some neuropathy clinic. He started doing Facebook ads through his company. They found out it was looked at me. They locked him out of Facebook of advertising.
Ooh, they do have a grip on you. So you know how they dug El Chapo out of prison? That's basically us with Facebook accounts. I have gotten like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of accounts either unlocked or if they're permanently deleted. We know how to circumvent it. Could take anywhere from couple days to a couple weeks, but it is totally possible to get you back on board. It just takes some time. Yeah.
We
So
actually had the same
That's-
issue that Dr. Lucky had in the past. They locked us and we were not able to post any other ads because of some issue that they found, and they were not able to reply to us for a month. So
Yep.
we had to keep insisting every day until they finally gave us an answer and activated our account again. But yeah,
That's-
it can be very time consuming when you don't get an answer, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, there is true prospect though in getting your account back. If we have gone through everything, I mean, like there's many ways to go about it, like possibly going through a family member's account or a staff member's, or opening one up and utilizing a separate computer you get for like $200, $300, $400 from Walmart or Best Buy, and then basically operating that off of a hotspot every single time under a new Facebook account. So that's one of the ways, but I'd want to take a look into your Facebook before we jump into that and see what avenues we'd want. And maybe even take my boss who, taught me everything I know to take a look at it as well. So
Thank you, bud.
under the presumption that we are able to get Facebook underway, this is kind of how that would work. Because I'm sure you have other things that pertain to aesthetics and weight loss aside from the machine, right?
Right.
Awesome. So you have a couple avenues you could do. You could advertise weight loss, or you could leverage the body contouring machine. What we want to do is we want to leverage the body contouring machine because it's something that we can use a loss leader system in. And a loss leader system is when you have this high value service and you offer an initial nothing to lose discount to bring people in the door. But our twist with that is we actually can get people to prepay online, which results in a 95% show rate because the money makes the appointment real. And your staff don't want to pull their hair out chasing down 30, 50, 100 leads a month, making hundreds of phone calls, because we've all been there before. It's no fun. So
Totally agree.
with these leads prepaying, it's been a big specialty of ours for many years. And, that's kind of why it works so well. The way it operates, this is kind of what you'd see. And then I'll be happy to share my screen, actually show you what these ads look like. But if you don't know how Facebook ads work, or anyone on the call that doesn't, what we do is we target women over the age of 35. Men are a waste of money online for weight loss ads at the very least. It's like the equivalent of them seeing our ad, laughing, slapping their belly, and sipping their beer as they continue to scroll. They just not a good place to put your cash when it comes to weight loss. Women 97% of the time are more engaged shoppers and care about the way they look. So that's kind of who we go for. We also don't want to aim for people in their 20s and you show them a $3,000 package and they say, wow, that's half the value of my car, So what we try to aim for is an older demographic. I know I say 35 plus, but we really do want to aim for what I kind of call like a neuropathy demographic, because when you aim for that kind of boomer style of individual, they have a higher probability of being set in life, having savings. They're more concerned over the next 30 years than $2,000, $1,000, $3,000 in their pocket, essentially. So that's kind of our theology. If you're curious, for companies that do things similar to us and what makes us better, what's our edge, a good answer to that essentially is Facebook is a data game. It's a money game. The more you spend, the more priority and exposure you get, but we can actually leverage the success of a campaign sooner rather than later without spending a bunch of money because we have hundreds of accounts and a myriad of different areas. And when you're able to take that data from all these other accounts and just shove it into a brand new account, it performs a lot better, a lot more consistently, and a lot faster, if that makes sense.
I was referred to by
Absolutely.
somebody I know, like, and trust. That's all I need.
Well, thank you, Dr. Michael, for real. I really do appreciate that. So if you're curious the way that people see this advertisement, aside from the myriad of, targeting measures that we do, people don't see this ad by Googling weight loss or searching up body contouring or going to your business page or anything like that. They just match our series of targeting. And then as they scroll through their social media, looking at pictures of people's lunches and graduation photos or whatever, they see our ad and it pops up essentially. What'd you say you're in Charleston, was it?
Yes, he's in
Yes, sir.
Charleston.
Awesome. So it would say, attention, Charleston area ladies, we're looking for 15 women to undergo transformation that doesn't require surgery, injections, downtime, gritty shakes, prepackaged meals, exercise, all the stuff that people don't want to do on a weight loss program, essentially, right? And that's the benefit and the beauty of these types of machines. And if any of the programs you offer do include that, we can of course remove that verbiage, just so you know.
I was just thinking, we do the
We
semaglutide
can modify.
injection, so we'll probably remove that one. Right,
I
Robin?
figured. Yeah, I run that a lot, honestly, with people doing injections and all that fun stuff. So we just remove that from the verbiage and it's no problem.
Cool.
So
Cool.
what we're doing there in the very beginning, we're localizing the ad because Facebook acts like a radio web. We might put a 12-mile radius, 15-mile radius, but Charleston's a popular town, popular city. People drive through there. Boom, you got caught in the web. Even though you live 2 hours away, you were just traveling. So we say Charleston. So people say, oh, this is for Charleston people. I'm not going to waste these people's time, right? Still going to happen because people don't read, but there's our efforts essentially. After
Right.
that, we say we're looking for 15 women. Obviously, we're going to accept way, way, way more than 15 people. But the deal with that is if you don't have scarcity, you don't have an offer online, essentially. What we tell them after that, saying it doesn't include this, that, and the other, we're looking for 15 women. We say for a limited time, our $379 new patient, new body platinum package is offered at initial $37. So just to explain all that, because I went through a little bit there, the $379 valuation is just because 3 and 7 really popular numbers in American culture. As silly as it sounds, people really do make decisions off of that. If you're selling something ended in 9, and then we're able to say it's a 90% discount at $37. And if you're curious how we got to that number, we've done everything. I mean, we've done $19, BOGOs, buy one, get one half off, buy two, get one free, buy two, get one half off, all the way up to $1,200 being pre-charged online. And every time we move from the initial $37 visit offer, we lose numbers online, we lose amount of leads, and we lose closes, of course. So does that make sense how we kind of came to that
We
initial?
tested it. Very simple.
Exactly. Just $37. Sometimes people say, oh, well, what if we did 80? What if we did 50? It sounds like it would get a higher quality person, but all it does is half the number of people we get, essentially. So after that, what we're offering them super, super standard. It's just a body contouring session, vibration plate session, body composition analysis, and then a weight loss and body contouring consultation with our expert staff, essentially. And then finally, we just end it super nice. We say our programs are designed to change your life. We don't care where you're starting from, only that you do your best and finish.
I like it.
That is all they see on Facebook. We have a photo of the machine. You know, we'd want to get some professional photos if those are available for the machine, which would be really nice to use. And then we take them through a whole funnel system. And I'd love to show you what that is. But before I move forward, because I feel like I'm talking a lot, any questions?
Well, so my question would be, have you looked at the Charleston market, or have you done any Facebook advertising in the Charleston market before?
Let me pull up all my South Carolina people. I'll tell you where I've been.
Mark, I'm not sure if you were here, but just before he got here, he was saying Charleston, Carolinas happens to be a very good market for weight loss.
Great. And then what was his first name again? I thought he said Foster.
Foster, like the beer, the glasses, the band, all that fun stuff. I've heard it all.
Why did your parents name you Foster?
Honestly, it's kind of sappy. It was the name of some guy in an old love story, and they can't even remember the name of the book. I was like, you got so
that's my 11-year-old's name. That's my 11-year-old's name. We've had a Foster.
Yeah, he's
No way.
got a Foster. He's
We've
got
had
a
a
Foster.
How about that?
He's adorable.
Yeah, we've had a. It's been in my Foster name. Has been in my family since 1742.
That's really freaking cool. I mean, the only other Foster I ever met was named after me. So, you know, how about that?
It's a special
It's a cool
connection here.
That is awesome.
That's right.
We got special magic going on here.
That's
That
right.
is freaking cool to hear. I got to tell my mom that. She'll love that story.
Yeah.
So we've been all up and down the East Coast, of course. North Carolina and South Carolina markets are actually really similar to operate in. But some of my most successful markets in South Carolina have been things like Mount Pleasant, Lyman, Aiken, Columbia, and could have gone And then
Okay.
North Carolina has been Raleigh, of course, Greensboro, of course. Wilmington is an amazing market, which I would assume is very similar to Charleston because they're both big coastal cities.
Yeah.
And then Clinton and Charlotte. So
Gotcha. And then let me ask you another question. You know, the machine actually comes with a urinary incontinence or a pelvic bowl tightening system, which of course helps people that urinate or you know, sexual dysfunction, tightens up all the areas. So is that Facebook? I know is really sensitive on certain words. Would we be able to market some for urinary incontinence, or would it just be for body contouring? And how do you get along that? Because I know Facebook is really weird about contouring
with weight
body
loss
parts.
Good
and
question,
everything.
Mark. Good question.
Yeah. So when it comes to like the incontinence and everything like that, we've obviously never tested that before. When you're starting to talk about down there, Facebook isn't very nice about it and they're not very receptive. So what I've found is market things that have the best market pull and then just market internally for those options, essentially. It's probably the best thing you can find success for. As for what's going on with the weight loss and Facebook not liking before and after photos, or you know, photos with things like tape measures or scales or something like that, because Facebook really is a snowflake platform. They think you're going to hurt someone's feelings, they're going to kick you off, essentially. So we have obviously been doing this long enough to find out what ad techs work, and exactly what I reiterated to you off the top of my head. That's what works, essentially. It's a short form advertisement, which means not a long read with a bunch of good stuff packed into it with an easy explanation of the value, essentially. And then we're able to communicate a lot more things to these people when we actually take them to our funnel when they click the learn more button. So I'm going to, would you enable screen sharing if you're able to do that?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. So this is just an example of an office I pulled up out of nowhere. They're in Lubbock, Texas. Dr. Tiffany Themos, who's worked with us for about 2.5, 3 years. They have a contour light system, which is like a pad-based system, essentially. Yeah. So this is just an example, of course. They're also designed for mobile, but for the sake of ease, I'm going to show you the desktop version here. Just got to get my computer working. There we go. So what we used to do is always something that's very interesting to explain as I'm showing this people. We used to have like a very pretty design funnel where we went totally off of education, paragraphs on how body contouring works, vibration plate, body composition, you know, what the consultation looks like. We really wanted to provide our offices with an educated prospect. But what we found out is that we, you know, let the carrot on the stick get a little too close to them, and we either lost that dopamine hit, which kept them going through the funnel, or, you know, they got bored. Who knows, right? So what we've been testing over the past 6 months or so with a lot of success is just being straight to the point. You click this button to buy, you want to come in. And it's been working really, really well. So essentially what we do is we just say, this is what you're getting for $37. So you're not confused. You're not getting a big program. You're just getting this visit so far. We show a bunch of before and after photos that we've been, you know, allowed to use online nationally, essentially. And you'll see all our before and after photos are very realistic. We're not putting, you know, some whale of a man next to Arnold Schwarzenegger and saying, get this in 30 minutes, you know?
Realistic. Let me ask you, what is that background noise? Is that a radio? What is that?
I'm not sure.
Let me. I got 2 kids in the car. You know, they're trying to they're on there. So let me just mute myself. I'll mute myself until I have a question. How about that?
Sure thing.
Good question. Good point.
And then if you have it, we would love a video on the machine and how it works, essentially. If we don't have that, that'd be awesome. And, you know, we can also test things like video testing.
Maria, pull up a couple of them while we're waiting.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. So what they do is they just submit their info here. After they click the proceed button, once again, straight to the point. Here we are, time to pay.
So you went from an educational perspective to just come right in. Here's what you're getting. Boom.
Completely transactional, right? We got you excited on Facebook. Welcome to Payment Town, essentially. And we've actually gotten a lot better conversions from that because we just, you know, took the carrot on the stick and just moved it away a little bit, you know, kept that excitement, essentially. You know, we didn't give them all our emotional baggage before the first date, you know? So if and only if they buy this first session for $37, this is where the twist comes in. And I want you to bear with me for the whole time. So this is where we offer either 3 additional or 2 additional sessions, right? And there's a big process to this. Obviously, if you want to offer 3 maximum sessions, the 1 + 2, or 4 maximum sessions, the 1 + 3, like you see here, totally up to your discretion. But the reason we have this upsell is if we're able to collect $164, $37 plus $127 for 3 maximum or 4 maximum sessions, tells us a lot about this person. Highly motivated. I'm ready to commit for multiple sessions for something I know next to nothing about. And it's pretty rare that your average person will spend almost $200 after 7 minutes with very little education on something, which shows expendable income. It actually even goes further than that, because when someone comes in multiple times, hell of a lot easier to close on a multi-$1,000 package. If you got to know them a little bit more, see the machine works more than once, build some rapport, essentially. And what we tell our offices to do, if you have 3 visits ahead of you, if you have 4 visits ahead of you, don't go for the sale. Don't ask for the money and muddle the relationship on the first visit. It's like bending down on one knee on the first date. Don't also go for the sale on the very last visit, because I'm going to need to talk to my husband. I need to talk to my spouse. I need to look at this. I need to think about it. And you're never going to see me again. So what we tell our offices to do is go for the sale on the second to last visit 2 out of 3, or visit 3 out of 4. So if I give you something BS why I can't say yes today, next visit is guaranteed with me. We get to have an eye to eye where I told you my objection. I know the price. Time has gone by. I've been able to sit on it. Am I going to leave with a solution, or am I going to leave with the problem I walked in with, essentially? So this upsell process is mandatory to how our advertisements run, and I can expand on that a little bit further, but it works like a charm, essentially. So any questions on the upsell or how that operates, or does that make plenty of sense?
For the people that you've done for this before, like the lipo lasers, lipo light, contour light, that's typically the total package is what, 8, 12 sessions total, right?
Yeah, about 12 is pretty typical, 6
So
to
this
12
technology, just so you're clear, is the protocol is typically 4.
for total.
Yeah, it's
So if
now,
I
if
came
they're
in
a
with
true
like,
weight loss patient, depends on the BMI. So this is shrinking fat, which you're very comfortable and familiar with, and building muscle. It's next level.
that's pretty interesting. So if
It's
I
very
came
interesting.
with like 40 pounds to lose, what would my prospect?
Right. If they have 40 pounds to lose, yes, they're going to need more sessions, no question. But we're talking about even 2 different kinds of markets. So you're going to have those patients with true weight loss patients, high BMI. But then alternatively, you're going to have a whole separate, you're going to have the market of somebody who's already quote unquote thin, but just wants to really sculpt out. Like
I've
strong
found
is the new sexy kind of thing.
I've found from our advertisements as a whole, and I can say this super confidently, we want the whale of the people. That
They
is what
spend the
we aim
most.
for.
Yeah.
We are looking for the people who've been holding on to 30, 40, 100 plus pounds for the past many decades. And they're finally ready to try something new. They're finally ready.
Okay, well, listen, you're from the marketing perspective, I have nothing but respect for what you're saying.
Thank you. Yeah, you will get twigs or people looking to, tone up and stuff like that every so often. It's
That's
okay.
not where the money's coming from, though, from your perspective.
Not at all. Not to any extent. So we're really aiming for the really large people, our new mothers, or, kids that finally out of the house, or mid or postmenopausal women. That's really what we're aiming for, which is why our ads are so emotional, essentially, in the very beginning, ending with something like, our programs are designed to change your life. We don't care where you're starting from, only that you do your best and finish. And
I
that's
like that language.
Oh, it works so well. We've been running that
Our
verbiage.
programs are designed to change your life. Do you hear that, Robin? To change your life.
Yep,
Wow.
I hear it.
That's emotional language.
So if you're curious on how many people buy this upsell and how many don't, of course, every market's different, but about 70% of people stick with the one session, which is more than understandable. It's Facebook. I don't want to put my card online. I don't even know if this is real. This is probably a scam, whatever, right? Because everyone has a reason, or they just want to see if it's real at first. They want to try their first session out. So I always like to lead with expectations that don't think because we have an upsell, every single person is going to initially purchase it online. About 30% of people will, essentially. So most folks, you'll only be dealing with one session, but we do have some scripting, verbiage, training videos, all that fun stuff, where we actually teach the front office how to upsell someone while they're filling out their new patient intake form. And you walk up to you and say, hey, you're Sarah, right? And they'll be like, yeah. Well, my name's Foster. It's a pleasure to meet you. I just wanted to walk up to you real quick and because something caught my eye. And I, of course, want to let you get back to your paperwork. But I saw you only got the one session for $37. Wanted to make sure nothing was wrong with our site, or maybe you missed it. And I want to see if you wanted to still get those extra 2 visits, the $127. You know, most people want to see this machine works more than once. They want to get the good deal before they decide this is a good long-term option with them, which hedges your bets for that full sale and pads your marketing cost, which is pretty cool. So does that...
Your advice is to approach them while they're filling out their initial paperwork to try to basically get them to come back 2 more sessions to just to resell them over and over again.
Yeah, and essentially, like, the whole deal with that is with these new people is saying, well, you know, I'd love to upgrade you after your visit, but when I take that paperwork and I put you in the system, you're not a new patient anymore, and it won't let me give you that price. And what you're doing,
software doesn't allow me to give you that price.
And what you're doing is you're not selling them, you're helping them. You know, you're just the staff member that works there. You just want to help out this stranger because almost everyone gets the 3 sessions online, you know, and that's kind of the frame for it that we teach people.
Yeah, like what happened? Why didn't you go for the 3 sessions? I'm just curious, you know.
Exactly.
Most people go for it.
Yep. And then right then and there, you know, most people say yes, which is pretty cool.
So your purpose of doing that is just this to get another crack at them. So it's not one and done. You're increasing your odds for them to get the big package.
Absolutely. If I keep, you know, if I've been struggling with weight for the past 20 years and I've wasted money on little dinky programs here and there and a bunch of time, and I'm finally ready to make my decision, whether that be, you know, I want to get into a relationship, or my doctor told me I need to lose weight, or I finally hit that point in my life where I'm ready to lose that weight or something of that sort, I'm going to want a good deal on the first front end here, not just one and done it, essentially, you know, have that conversation and keep experiencing the machine. And that's kind of,
I think it's pretty clever.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, once again, I'd love to say these are all my ideas, but my boss has been doing this for about 12 years. So, you know, you think I'm good, you should talk to him someday.
No, I feel you.
So whether they buy the one session or the multiple sessions, this is where they'll be brought to this final page saying, here's what you bought, here's how much you spent. All treatments are by appointment only. And we also send them a confirmation text message and email to legitimize the advertisement, essentially. Hey, you didn't get scanned. We're texting you. Here's our office name. Here's our phone number. Here's our address, essentially. And then we also include the office's address here, screenshot of where they are on the map. So based on their local knowledge, oh, yeah, I know that street, or oh, yeah, I know that store. I know where they are. And then this is actually something we added newly. This was my idea. Where kind of like sharing a TikTok, they tap this button and they can share it via text to their friends and family. And we've gotten hundreds of sales off this button. It is so cool because they just tap it, they send the link to their friend, and we get a bunch of free leads.
Awesome. Brilliant.
You're no longer hunting down for referrals.
Yay, Foster. Yay, Foster.
That's what I'm saying. So that's kind of everything in its entirety, how our ads run, how we find them, who we target, what the process looks like when we bring them through, what our sales theology is, setting all these people up. So hopefully that sounds pretty concrete for y'all.
Yes.
And really,
sure.
the only other things I could allude to that we specialize in, because I always like to say, we sound like we're consultants that market, but on paper, we're marketers that consult because it's better for taxes. You know, what was really big for us essentially is communication, like we would want to talk with every single office at least once every 2 to 3 weeks. In my world, in my experience in my industry, no news is not good news, essentially. We really want to keep hearing what's coming in, how the calls are going, how the closing's going, and work with you on what those conversations look like. I mean, just even let you know, we have a $10,000 sales program that's 8 hours long via video. Not a sales pitch, but we really do know what we're talking about with this stuff, and we'll give you all the information for free if you just listen, you know. So after that, when offices sign up with us, they also get a myriad of sales resources and documents. You know, you guys will be getting access to forms, scriptings, phone call scripts, A through Z sales and sales closing scripts. There's an 18-minute and a 40-minute mock sales consultation video. And we also have an hour-long 5-video sales training program. And that kind of stuff is just designed for new staff members or people looking to sharpen their edge, you know, before they jump into something like this. So yeah, that's kind of all I got for
Well,
you.
let me ask you, those initial $37, blah, 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 you guys keep all that money, right?
Oh yeah. So that's actually a really good thing we could chat about, because there's 2 ways that the money works, essentially. I always like to start off with what we used to do, what we only did for a very long time. We grew to about 300 offices doing this before COVID, right? We did $2,500 a month plus any additional ad spend, which was a pretty penny, $3,500, $4,500, $5,500 a month. But the way offices would essentially hedge their, you know, costs is they would be the ones keeping the $37 and the $164 payments. And the world was right and good. But come April of 2020, and people thought if you opened up a window, the outside air would kill you. You know, things went down the tubes a little bit, and we wanted to be the good guys. So it took about 3 weeks to do it. Called every single office, staff member, text message, email, however we could get a hold of them. We said, no, you're on a contract. We're just going to let you go. Come back to us when the world's normal. This will probably never happen again. It left us with about 17 offices and a whole team. And it's not like we could have gone on vacation, but it was okay. We all do really well for ourselves. But in that time, we did a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter to you, except the, I guess, what came to be our most popular program ever, which is our performance-based program, which you actually just alluded to, Mike. Essentially what it is we eliminated the $2,500 management fee, meaning all our offices spend is the money they put into Facebook, $1,000, $2,000 a month, whatever. So that means you don't pay us anything. And the way that we're paid is by keeping the 37 and the 164 payments online. And what that translates to is we actually have skin in the game. If we don't generate real people that prepay, we have a real shot at selling them, we don't make money. You know, and everything's month to month. So if you think we suck, tell us to pound sand.
So that's the way it works now still?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't had this many people say yes to me so consistently since I was giving out free masks in my church, you know, during COVID, you know.
You learn all these one-liners from your boss, I'm assuming, right?
my dad and I am, you know, I also come up with some on my own. And on top of that, I'm an avid follower of Zig Ziglar, believe it or not.
Zig Ziglar.
Yeah.
You help enough people get what they want, they give you whatever you want.
Yeah,
right?
you see, there you go.
I'll see you at the top.
Yep. I've listened to every word he's ever recorded at least twice. It's just one of those things.
From Tupelo, Mississippi.
Yeah, it was no, it's Yazoo City.
Oh, excuse me.
Yazoo. Yeah. Town so small you put a mirror at the end of it and make it look bigger. That's cool.
So what are your other options for what, you know, how you guys get paid? So tell me how you guys, let's talk money.
Yeah, it really is just those two for the body contouring itself. Things are a little different with things like neuropathy or spinal decompression. But with the body contouring, it's either we keep the monies prepaid online and the office doesn't pay us a dime and it's totally performance based.
I like that.
Or
So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
How many typical new patients can a new office expect? Somebody like Dr. Lucky here in Charleston, South Carolina.
Well,
what would you guesstimate that he can expect in terms of new patients?
Absolutely. So what that is a really good question, but also loaded to an extent because, every market's different. And a great way to frame that is like, if I wanted to buy a 100 by 100 billboard in Long Island, and then I also want to compare the cost to Pocatello, Idaho, which would be more expensive, essentially. So in a place like Charleston, big city, coastal, right? We're not the only ones vying for eyes and pockets out there. Our national average is a really easy way to answer that, which is between 15 and 25 prepaid individuals a month for on average about $1,000 to $1,500 spent with Facebook over a 30-day period. There, of course, are good months and bad months with every market, and we take it as it comes, essentially. But I always like to preface that as prepaid, the 15 to 25 individuals, because on top of that, you'll also be getting what we call regular leads or straight leads, as we've coined it. Straight leads are just first name, last name, email, and phone number. And for almost every single prepaid lead we achieve, there's between 3 and 7 individuals who submitted their information without payment. And those are the people you just got to give a call because they aren't comfortable putting their payment online. They don't know if you're real or not. So they're just going to submit their information. They have some questions. Like my daddy's 62 and he doesn't even trust Amazon. I'm like, come on. So or he can put his card online.
Some people just don't. Yeah.
I've had markets like
So let me ask you this. I got you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So for your new client, they still have to commit to a Facebook ad spend.
Yeah. And it's only like $1,000 at a minimum. It's like nothing for marketing,
Got you. And so what is it? Your game plan is to convert these existing clients into other higher level trainings and whatnot?
Weight loss, body contouring pack. Oh, you mean like our strategy as a business?
Yeah, your strategy.
Oh, my strategy is eventually to get them, purchase more machines from you, of course, which would, open up their availability and put more money into ad spend. Because theory is, well, if we generated 15 people or 20 people for $1,000, well, if you're making money and you put more money into marketing, then we hedge our bets for more profits, essentially. We, of course, have things like courses and everything of that sort, but I only tell people they need to buy my sales course if they don't listen to what free information I gave them in the first place.
Understood. Got you. So I would imagine that most people who don't listen to the free stuff, they're not the likely the people who are going to go in to buy expensive, or is it the other way around?
You'd be very surprised.
It's the other way.
Yeah, I've had about 120 offices buy our sales course. It is not bad money, I got to tell you.
Good. You're hysterical, dude.
Some people, they gotta watch videos on tennis, and some people they need a professional to hold their hand the whole way through, and they pay for it.
Maria, can you please stop recording?
For 3 days. And when that happened, my staff, I had like 3 people quit because we were getting so many calls. They were freaking out. So I told Mike I had to break out a wall and rent the next thing over. I ended up with 3 or 4 machines. And back then I wasn't really Grant Cardone trained, sales trained. I mean, I could upsell a little bit, but we weren't that good. Now I'm master certified in Grant's system. So I don't let people give me any kind of excuses or reactionary defense responses, or I just overcome everything they say. And usually it's I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I need to ask my spouse, or does it really work? I need to research it more. And I've got responses for all those. So
yeah.
And I don't let Robin, I don't let him walk out. She's like 90% closed on weight loss with our semaglutide, but we want to add we think the semaglutide weight loss with Mike's fabulous machine. I mean, it is a monster. It's a beast. It's high quality, and the magnetic pulses that come out of it are, dude, I've done it every day for 3 days, and I'm already seeing major difference every morning. So it's a home run, bro.
Well, I can hear the passion in your voice, which means you're telling the truth. So that's awesome to hear.